Hey everyone, I'm Brett, and welcome to Nightwood Guns. Today I get to shed the accusations of being a Tier 1 concealed shill because we're looking at a different sidecar style holster today that I actually like quite a bit. This holster definitely has pros and cons, so be sure to stick around to see how I feel about this holster and whether or not I'm going to fully recommend it. Before we hop into that, if you're brand new around here and you end up enjoying the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That helps me out so much. And if you'd like to go the extra mile and support the channel further, the links in the description below are the place to be. That's where you can find my Patreon. I'm so grateful for my patrons who hold me accountable and keep this content flowing in these very trying times for gun tubers. And of course, down there you can find my Amazon link to my short novels that are action-packed and honestly awesome. I think you'd love them. So I'd appreciate it if you check those out if you're looking for something to read. I'm also going to do what I can. I'm going to reach out and see if I can get a discount code for you guys on this holster. If I was able to secure one, it will also be there in the description, so be sure to check it out. So when I was tricking out this G48 trying to build a mini long boy monster of a machine, I knew I was going to need a holster for it, and I was like 2 seconds away from ordering another Tier 1 concealed holster when Summit Holsters reached out to me on Instagram and was like, hey, I'd love to send you a product. Now, I get offers like that all the time, and the vast majority of the time I pass because I'm so picky about holsters. But I checked out the website and his stuff was looking really clean and nice. So I asked him about his company, what sets him apart from other holster makers. And he's been making holsters for a very, very long time, which explains the quality of the holster. And he decided to go into business with his buddy, who he unfortunately lost. He passed away in a tragic event. In honor of his dear friend, he took over all the duties of the company and is determined to keep making holsters in his friend's honor. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know I like supporting American small business and American-made products, especially in the 2A realm, so I decided to give his holster a try. Now, Summit Holsters makes a bunch of different holsters from outside the waistband to inside the waistband and a lot of different varieties of the two, so be sure to check out their website because based on how clean and nice this holster is, all the rest of his stuff is probably pretty darn good too. So this sidecar style holster is his El Capitan Apex, the light-bearing El Capitan model. And it's for the G48 with the TLR7 sub on there. And I have to say, the fit is absolutely perfect. Clicks in just like you'd want it. If you've seen my other holster review videos, you know that I'm really picky, and this one is just absolutely clean and smooth all around. I'm also a huge fan of shock cords on these sidecar style holsters. They really help with comfort and concealability, flexing with your body on every axis. It's honestly an awesome design, and Summit Holsters executes it perfectly. There are other sidecar style holsters that do the shock cord, but the kydex fits together like a puzzle piece there, so it kind of struggles to shift around. This one does it the best, most comfortable and concealable way. Definitely a fan of that. The sweat guard goes up pretty high and leaves plenty of clearance for an optic. Is it a full sweat guard? No, but it's a higher sweat guard than what Tier 1 Concealed does, so points for that. I'm definitely still butthurt that Tier 1 Concealed got rid of their full sweat guards and now you're stuck with the mid, so I am happy to see that the Summit holster, the sweat guard comes up higher than the Tier 1 Concealed. That's a big plus for me. And of course, since I'm a weirdo and I was trying to build the flattest shooting G48 I could build, I was relieved to see that this had an open bottom to accommodate threaded barrels, compensators, all that good stuff.
Open holster.
The draw from the Summit Holsters El Capitan is very crisp and clean. Can be done really quickly, nothing hangs up. It's a smooth draw. This is actually the holster that I used in that build drill that I did in YouTube Shorts that got quite a bit of traction. So let's take a look at that. So it definitely does everything that a holster needs to do. Of course, you have a retention screw right here, but something I really appreciate about this is the retention on the spare magazine. It actually clicks in, which is really neat. A lot of them are just kind of passive tension. This one is very just clicky. And that just goes to show how good the molding is. You can even see the indentation right there where it catches the magazine. Man, I'm impressed. Speaking of attention to detail, and over here on the magazine carrier side, I love this bump ledge that he's put on there because when your belt runs through there, it acts as a concealment claw to help keep everything pushed up against you. There are a lot of sidecar style holsters that don't have anything on the mag carrier like that, so that is a huge attention to detail that I really appreciate. The concealment claw that comes with it is kydex. At first, I was worried about it, but honestly, I have a lot of reps. I've been carrying this a lot, and it shows no signs of cracking or breaking as of yet, so no issues there. It comes with two, this short one that I have on there and a much taller one if you need some deeper concealment, need that grip really pushed up against your body. The clips that come on here are absolutely serviceable. The thing that I like about them is this style of clip doesn't really snap very easily. It bends before it snaps and it hooks onto your belt pretty cleanly. Of course, I prefer discreet carry concept clips, but these ones definitely get the job done on a good belt. The best part about all of this is you start looking at lead times for holsters like this. They are like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. It can get crazy. The lead time as of right now at Summit Holsters is 5 to 10 days. So he's putting these out pretty fast, and if you need a holster in a hurry, this is definitely the way that I would go. Between the quality and the design and how quickly it can be delivered to you as of right now, man, this is going to be hard to beat if you need a holster in a hurry. Now, I have clearly given this holster lots of praise, and I'm a big fan of it, but there are a couple of areas where maybe there could be some improvement in later generations down the line. So first of all, I was concerned about the size of this little, I don't know what you call it, this keeper thing. I'm used to the smaller ones being on these, but this one's pretty big. I was worried about it at first, but once you get the holster on, it kind of fits neatly into that little gap right there and you don't really feel it. So I don't know, it would make me feel better if it was smaller, but really it's not an issue. The other thing about this holster is there isn't a lot of ride height adjustability. You're kind of stuck with two heights because there are two holes, basically like these holes right here are right there and right there. So with the 3 notches in the clips, you kind of get 2 ride heights with this. A lot of holster companies are moving towards more holes so you can have more play with ride height because that's something that's important to a lot of people. I'm chill with where it's at now, but it's one of those things where I like having the ability to customize and fine-tune ride height, especially since everybody's bodies are so different. In that same vein, I tried to put some discreet carry concept clips on here. The hardware that was on here didn't work. Obviously, that's not Summit Holster's fault. I had a bunch of holster hardware to work with, and I was able to get the discreet carry concept clips on there. But again, with only the 2 holes, I couldn't get the ride height where I liked it, and it was even further off than with the standard clips. So I went back to the standard clips so I could have the ride height exactly where I wanted it. And there's not a lot wrong with this holster. There's only one other issue that I have, and that is these 2 little bumps on the back here kind of have a nice side effect. They can act as a very slight mini wedge for skinnier people like me. But really, I think it's a streamlined manufacturing process because the 2 bumps are also up here on the front. Just the holes are drilled that way. He can make a right-handed holster and a left-handed holster, I'm assuming, by just kind of, drilling the holes on the side that he needs them. Again, keep in mind, lead times are pretty speedy, so that makes sense. However, having these bumps here makes it difficult to get a wedge to stick to them. You can, but when you get a wedge on there and it's going over a bump and over a bump and over ridges and stuff like that, sometimes it won't stick as well or can be awkward. So I always prefer a flatter surface on this side in case you're somebody who needs to run a wedge. Now the good news is I don't run a wedge, so this does not affect me at all. I'm just looking out for my homies out there that do typically like to run wedges. You can 100% put a wedge on here, but it just may not stick as well as on a flat surface since it is trying to conform to those bumps. Now the only other downside is not even holster related, it's just the number of firearms that Summit Holsters is offering holsters for. It's going to be all the majorly popular stuff, but if you're carrying more of a fringe thing, if you're a bit of a hipster, you might have trouble finding a holster for your, Tokarev, Makarov, Desert Eagle, I don't know. That being said, I give this holster very high marks. I do recommend it. I recommend Summit Holsters as a company. Their stuff, fit, and finish is so clean, and I am such a perfectionist and so picky. The ride height on this holster is good for me, and I think would be good for most people, and I don't really run a wedge anyways, so this is going to be my go-to speedy, I need it in 5 to 10 days holster company. Summit Holsters, you did an awesome job. I really hope that this video sends some people your way because you have a bright future ahead of you. Excellent work on this holster. I'm impressed. If along our journey you forgot to hit that subscribe button, now is your opportunity to do so. I'd greatly appreciate it. And of course, I so appreciate my patrons. You guys hold me accountable and keep this channel going. And of course, if you're already a subscriber, hit that like, thumbs up button and leave a comment down below. It helps the channel out so much. If you can't think of anything to say or ask, just leave an emoji. Even that helps more than you know. It was great seeing you. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm Brett, and this was Nightwood Guns. Nightwood out.